Why do I look like an e-girl today? That wasn't meant to happen. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Sofia, and today we're gonna be talking about our November TBRs and what we read on October. I've been doing these two videos, like the month TBR and the month grab up, separate, but I think like I'm gonna mash them up because normally I talk about all my reads on my blog. A monthly grab up is not really working for this channel. Please tell me in the comments if you like this version better or if you like them better separately. But yeah, without further ado, let's get going. Let's go into my November TBR first. Please tell me in the comment what you're reading in November, or if you're reading any of these books in November. First book I'm reading, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. The other day I posted a picture of this book on my Bookstagram. It kind of blew up and every single person said that this book was amazing. My problem with thrillers is that I always guess what's gonna happen, who is the murderer. Like the plot twist never surprises me just because I'm like that. I normally can't tell how a series is gonna finish or how a book is gonna finish. Same happens with movies and TV shows. I'm just gonna read a little bit what it's about. When you ask people what happened to Andy Bell, they will tell you without hesitation. She was murdered by Salil Singh. No, allegedly, no, might have, no, probably, no, most likely. Sal killed Andy, but I'm just not so sure. I really hope this book surprised me in any way. The next book I've been waiting ages to read and I finally got it. Again, thank you, Maddie. I don't know if you're watching this, but I'm gonna thank you every single time. It was a gift by Mary, and it's Nip House by Leigh Bardugo. I realized the other day that it says Impossible to Put Down by Stephen King. That's a whole ass flex. The book has been out for a little while and I love Leigh Bardugo, so I don't know why I haven't picked it up. I was in a really fantasy mood, so now I'm moving to other genres like thrillers because I really got into true crime these past like few months. When I opened it and I read the first line of the book, I'm gonna read it to you. It's not a spoiler or anything, it just made me want to read the book like so much more. By the time Alex managed to get the blood out of her good wool coat, it was too warm to wear it. I think this is like a dark academia set in jail university. How do you say that in English? Not a coven, that's like a coven of witches. Like a secret society. I'm not sure because I don't know anything about it. And I really want to see how Leigh Bardugo treats the adult genre because all I've read of her, it's new adult or young adult. Everyone says there's so many plot twists, so again, I hope I get surprised by some of them. The next book I really want to read this month is Fable by Adrienne Young. Another book that I've been seeing online. It says, welcome to a world made dangerous by the sea and by those who wish to profit from it, where a young girl must find her place and her family while trying to survive in a world built for men. After her mother's death, her father abandoned her on this legendary island where she cannot trust anyone and she has to like survive on her own. I love pirate stories and mermaid, like sea themed books. Scavenge the Stars, To Kill a Kingdom, all of them have this like sea kind of theme to them and I love them, so I think I'm really gonna like this. It's short too if you're looking for a short story to read. The next read will be The Poppy War by R.F. Huang. Sorry, I pronounced your name wrong probably. This book has amazed me in so many ways. It's an adult book. If you are a younger reader, I don't really recommend this for you. This is an adult fantasy book. I will link all the trigger warnings for this book down below because there's a lot, and that's what surprised me about the book. When I read all the trigger warnings, I knew this was gonna be a different kind of fantasy than what I normally read, and I think I need something like this. Little I know, it's about this girl Rin who surprisingly gets into the most elite military school in this world, but being dark-skinned peasant girl from the south in this military school is not gonna be easy. She also discovers she has this like lethal power and there's also a war coming. I expect a lot of politics, a lot of racial problems, a lot of hard moments, and it's gonna be really emotional and hard to read, I know that, but everyone's raving about it, everyone's loving it, and I really want to read a different fantasy, so that's what I'm looking for in this book. The next book is House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. I picked this one up because it's a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses, which is my favorite Barbie movie. I actually I have it here, so I want to watch it tonight. I mainly picked it for that, and then I discovered is this dark fairy tale retelling of 12 sisters that live in this manor by the sea. I know there's ghosts involved, I know there's gods involved. This is the book I'm currently reading too. I'm not gonna say more, I think that sells the book itself. The title page, look. With the octopus. I feel like the octopus is gonna have something to do with it. And then the last book on my TBR is actually a reread, and it's An Ember in the Ashes by Sava Tahir. The last book in the series is coming in December, I believe, and I stopped reading the series after the second book. I'm gonna film a separate blog for this that should be coming up on the end of November. I remember loving the first book, the second one not as much, but I think it's because I was upset on the ending of the first book. I don't remember anything. I think I read it like 2 years ago. It's a young adult fantasy inspired by the Roman Empire. It says Laia is a slave, Alaya is a soldier. Neither of them is free. I hope I like it as much as the first read. And that's gonna be it for my November TBR. If you have read any of these, tell me what you thought about them in the comments, but please don't spoil it. And now I'm gonna talk super quickly about my October reads. I read 6 books in October. First read was the only disappointing one. It was Wicked Sense. I talk about this on my blog, but I gave it 3 stars. The story had so much potential. I really loved the magic system. The end of the book was super messy. I also really liked the characters, but there was something, one out of the 3 main characters felt like a secondary one. I'm gonna continue the series. If you're looking for a dark fantasy magic book, I will recommend this one, but know that there's like a few things that you may not like, as it is kind of messy by the ending, but it can go really well on the second and third book, which is coming out next year, I believe. My next read, I really liked it. It was The Shadow Between Us by Tricia Levenseller, and I will describe this book as a guilty pleasure read. It's a dark fantasy novel set in this world where our main character wants to seduce the king, marry him, and then kill him because she only wants the power. So it's a hate to love romance, if you really like that. I know a lot of people like those type of books. There's also feminist aspects in the book that I like, but it's too much in your face. Like, you can't tell she's trying to make a point by it, but I really enjoy it. I will just say, if you are looking for something fun, fast to read, that it's super bold, like with a super bold main character, and you're not looking for like an amazing mind-blowing fantasy read, I will go for this one because it was really enjoyable to read, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. My next read was Scavenge the Star by Tara Sim, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. This is a retelling of The Count of Monte Cristo. I never read the book, and I never watched the movie. This is about a girl who is looking for revenge because she was sold to this slaver ship when she was really little, and now that she has finally paid her debt, she is looking for the people that got her there. This had a few plot twists that I didn't see coming. The beginning of the book is really entertaining. It kind of falls in the middle, but I cannot wait to read the second part, which is coming next year. The next one is my favorite book that I read this month, and it is The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd-Jones. This was like reading a movie. I loved it. It was fast, it was entertaining, it was like reading a movie. It had a lot of action scenes, but the thing that surprised me most is that it was a purely character-driven story. I thought the magical aspects of it were gonna be the main part of the book, but it didn't. It was the relationship between Rin and her 2 younger brothers and sister, or brother and sister, and she trying to overcome the feeling of losing her parents. And then we have Ellis, which is our other main character, who is trying to find where he comes from. He doesn't know much about his past, and I really enjoy that mysterious aspect of it, because you don't know who he really is until the end of the book, and it made me cry a few times. If a book makes me cry, it deserves 5 stars. Then I needed a contemporary book because I was reading like super high fantasy based books, and I picked up Tweet Cute by Emma Lord, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I listened it to on audiobook, and it was super good. I read it in like 2 days. So it's about this Twitter world between these these two kids whose family own a business, like a food business, so they get into this tweet war and then they start, you know, falling in love with each other. They talk about not following what your parents decide, trying to see what you want to do after high school, which is a problem a lot of people have. Overall, fun, fast, really liked it. Two left. Then I read Heartless by Marissa Meyer, one of my most anticipated reads of this year, and I really enjoy it. This is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars because the ending, I guess what is gonna happen at the end because it has a lot of riddles. I did like the characters. The book falls a little bit in the middle. It's super entertaining at the beginning and then at the end too, but in the middle it gets a bit boring. But I love the romance, I love the characters, and I think it's brilliant how Marissa Meyer like twisted the original to Alice in Wonderland book to make this amazing story. The last book I read on October, which I actually finished in November, but I'm gonna count it in October, is One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus, and I actually listened to it on audiobook. I tried to read it like last year and I didn't really enjoy it, but reading to the audiobook made me like so entertained. This is a young adult murder mystery. Let me tell you, I gave it a 3 stars because it was really predictable for me. But if you're not really into thrillers, I guess you're gonna love it and it's gonna make you want to read more thrillers. I love the aspect that we have these 4 main characters and the author took her time to introduce us to each and every one of them. We know their past, we know their trouble, and I really enjoy the interaction between one another. My favorite part is Browin and Nate's relationship. It's like the nerdy girl and the bad boy get together. I don't know, I always like that. I discovered there's a sequel for this, but don't worry because the murder, like the mystery, is solved in this one. I don't know what the second book will be about, but I'm probably gonna pick the audiobook again. If you're just looking for the story to be mystery and murder all the time, this is not the book because it's more about the character's life. It was a bit long, that's why I really recommend the audiobook. And that's gonna be it for this video. I hope I didn't talk much. I've seen this in a lot of people's channel and I struggle to comment in videos. I don't know what to comment on people's video, so if you have reached this point of the video, just put the octopus emoji and just write about one of the books that I've talked if you want to read it or just what you're reading this month. As always, I really hope you enjoy it. Please give it a like, comment, subscribe, all the pretty things you can do that really help this channel grow. If you want to keep updated with my reads, I do have a Goodreads. You can add me there on Friends or follow my reviews, and I post daily on my Bookstagram. I really hope you enjoy it and I will see you in the next one. Bye!